Welcome back. In our last video now we created these events here and you can see the cards that are holding events here. So we created them but we replicated them since we don't have the data right now. But what we'll do now, we'll go to the next component, that is the footer here. So you can see here we have this beautiful footer here, and this is what we are going to create in this video. Also you can see here down, you can see we have this line here, and also we have this all rights reserved here by this MVX, all rights reserved. So what you'll do in this time, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe, and then let's get into the tutorial. So let's continue. So here you can see we have this application here. So now we want to create our footer. So the first thing that we'll do now is come here in our component and then let us create footer. So I'll just say footer here and then GXX because we need to create a component. And remember, we are using this shortcut here to create our component. So if I click enter, you can see we have our footer here. So another thing that I'll do also is to create a CSS for footer. So I'll just come here in my styles folder and then I'll say footer.module.css, just like that. And another thing that we should do is that in order for us to import our CSS in our footer, what I'll do, because I don't want us to type a lot, I just copy this here and let me copy it. So I'll just copy it and then inside this footer here I'll paste this here, this code here, and also I'll just change this from featured to footer. So this is footer right here. So the other thing that now we want to create here is now our component, our HTML inside here. So the first thing that I'll do is that I'll come here and I'll create a class name. So our class name here we'll have we call it styled, and then it will be footer, that is, we'll call it footer. Inside our footer now we'll have another div here, and this div will give it a class name of container. So a class name here, and this class name here should be styles.container, just like that. And inside now container will start to have different footer items, because after that now here down here we need to have several things, and one of the things that we need to have is our line. So remember, we have this line here, and also we have another code that I'll just paste it inside here. And remember, this will not be footer container, it will be the bottom of the footer, that is. So let me paste this and I'll show you what I mean by this. So this line here and this reserved section here, or the text, is this one that you can see here. So let's go back here, is this one that you are seeing here, this one here, this line here, and this all reserved here. So after that now we can go inside our container here, and inside our container, first thing first, we need to have at least this section here. So we have this section here, this has a logo, a text here, and these icons here. So just come here and then I'll just call the first section, I'll call it, let me add a div inside here, and this one I'll call it about. So I'll just give it a class name, and this class name here I'll just say it is styles dot footer about, just something about underscore about, just like that. And inside here now I can start adding the h2, and then here we need to add our logo, which is MVX. And then the other thing that we need to add here is also our span. And actually, rather than actually just typing it, I'll just copy and then paste it. So I'll just paste it here. So I'll just paste it here, and also I can format this code because I want it to be at least prettier. And then after that now we have another div here, and this div is for containers. So this div here is for icons, that is. So I'll give it a class name, So I'm giving it a class name of, let's say, icon class, let's say styles dot icons, just like that. So in here now we need to have icons, and here we need to have three icons, that is. And also because I had already created them, we just paste it, and these icons now will give also the styles of the, we have a class name of, maybe class name of icon, that is. So actually I can also do something like, let me add it here. So let's look for the Facebook. Okay, for the Facebook, so let me type this Facebook. So let's look for the far Facebook. I think that would be okay. Far Facebook. Yeah, you can see it here. And if you look up here, you can see it is already being typed here. So another icon that we need also is for Instagram. So I'll just say FA and then Instagram, and this we check for this square one. So I'll just add it like that. So the other thing that we need here is we need another icon that is for the Twitter. So I'll just say far and then Twitter. So this is Twitter here, just like that. Let me add it like that. And then the other thing that we need is for Pinterest, that is. So I'll just say for Pinterest like that. So all that, but I want us to create a class name. We need to give them a class name, and the class name that we are going to give it is the class name for the icon. So I'll just come here and I'll say styles. So let me type styles dot icon, just like that. So because here we need to give all them the class of icon, I'll just copy it and paste it here in other icons here. So this one here, and then this one here, like that. And then after now the icons, and now we have this footer about here. Outside the footer about here, now we need to have another div that we call it, or another footer item, and this one we'll call it, let me add here div, and this one I'll call it footer item. So class name of, let's say, styles dot footer item, footer underscore item, just like that. So inside here we'll have now h3, and this h3 will say for designers, just like that. And after that, now here I'll just have also the ul, that is list, unordered list, that is. And in here we can have the list, but because I don't want us to start typing everything, so I'll just copy the code that I had already, from the code that I had already created, and in here I can just paste the code. So it is an ordered list, and you can see we have those links here. So let me first of all paste it or format it, so just like that. And then after that we need to have another one, and because they are using almost the same structure, I can copy and paste it. Now I can copy from here up to, I think, here, yes, and then let me paste it, copy, and then I'll copy that, then paste it here, copy again, and then paste. So for this one here, the second one here, this one will say it is for company. So this one is for company. So I'll just add here company. So the other one is directories. So for this one here, I just add directories. So and here you can say directories. So directories here. So this one is directories, just like that. So after that, now we can save on that. And then the other thing that we can do also is we can format it here. So after we have formatted this code here, now we can go now to our CSS, because now you can see here we have already created this links here down here, and also we have added icons and everything that we should add here. So what we need is to style, because if you come here and scroll down here, you need to see like we haven't imported it here in our index here. So we need to come here and add our footer here. So this is our footer here, and you can see from the component we can import it. So something of the sort now, and then let us paste it here. And then when we come back now here, after it has saved and then reload again, you'll see that it will add the information down here. So it is still reloading. As you can see here on the bottom right, this icon here, it is showing us that it is already reloading. So it is taking a lot of time, and actually it has finished, but you can see our information is not structured the way we want, because we want our information to be structured like this. So what we'll do now, let's go into our footer styles. So here let's look for styles here, and then inside here in our footer now we can look for how to style. So first of all, we'll start with our footer. So we'll start with the footer. So here we have our footer here, and then inside our footer I'll just say a background color, and I want to add a background color of hash, and then FA and then FB, that is. So it is almost a white smoke color. And then the other thing that we need to have is padding, and a padding of 30 pixels top and bottom, and then 50 pixels here right and left. So after that, now we'll have our footer also, and then here if we have our footer here, and then I'll specify that I want this line here that we called HR, and then we'll say margin. We need to have a margin of 0%, that is top to bottom, and then we have 3% right and left. So like that. So because we don't want to have a full width. Another thing is that we'll say a display of flex. Another thing is that I'll say align items to be center, just like that. And also we have to justify content to be at least center also, something of the sort. The other thing that we need to style now is also we need to style the footer and then footer span here, and I'll give it a margin of, let's say, 20 pixels, just like that. The other thing we need to do is now we can specify a container here, and our container here we start by giving it a color, and this color will be hash and then 3D and then 3D again and then 4E, something of the sort. So that color there. The other thing is that we need to have height. So we have to have the height of auto actually. And the other thing is that you need to have a margin of, let's say, 100 pixels by 0 pixels. And then the other thing is display flex. You need to be having display flex here, and then align items to be center, and then also the align item center, and then justify content. It should be space between, something of this sort now. So let's see if we have changes in our application. So let's go back here and see if we have changes. So you can see we have these changes here. So we can go, and then also let me format this code here. So you can see how it formatted. So the other thing that we need also is to style the other items. So footer and then underscore about, and then this one is h2, and then this here I'll just say a color. I'll give it a color of, let's say, hash f, and then 4, and then 2 1, okay, 2 1, and then also we need to have 5 5 here, so that color there. And the other thing is that we need to have font size. Font size will give it a font size of 35 pixels because this is our logo, remember. And then we have font family, and we'll give it roboto, just like that. So roboto, let me spell it correctly. And the other thing is that we need to have also the margin. So our margin here will be 10 pixels and 0 pixel. The other thing is that we need to actually come here, and the other thing that we should style, because we already styled the margin, we need to style footer, and then footer about, and then span. So span, and then here we can say the margin, that the margin of the footer span, it should be 10 pixels and also 0 pixels. After that, now let's style another thing. So we are going to style dash icons here. So icons here, and then we say font size here, and our font size will be 10 pixels. And the other thing is that we need to have a cursor pointer, just say cursor pointer here. And let's also go down, and here I'll also style icons. So icon, so after that we need to style icon. So icon will give it a margin right. So we have margin right actually, so it is margin right, and margin right here will give it a margin right of 20 pixels. And the other thing that we need to style also is font size, and we'll give it a font size of 25 pixels. And the other thing is that you need to at least give it a transition and animation. So you just specify the transition and just say all, and then 1 second, and then is something of the sort. Another thing is that you need, when we hover over it, when you hover over icon, so let's add this attribute. So when we hover over it, we need it to transform, and we want it to be large, so we need to scale to 1.1. And the other thing is that we need also to change the color when we hover over it. So we'll give this color here, so this one. And also now after that, let us save, and let's see the changes. So you can see the changes here, and when we hover over it, you can see here the changes that we are getting from the icons when we hover over them. So the other thing that we need to also do is now to style the other items also. So I'll just come here, and also I'll just pick like footer item underscore item, that is something of the sort. And then footer item here, I'll just say a margin. So we have a margin here, and the margin we give a margin of 0% and then 3%. So after that, now actually we need to now also style the list. So we need to use footer, and then I'll specify an ordered list here, and I'll say list type or list style to be none. And also here we need to also style the list now. So I'll just say footer and then item, and here I'll get the styles and say cursor pointer, just like that. So let's see the changes. So let's see if we have the changes. So you can see here how it looks, and actually it looks great. And here we have our line here, also we have our actually the data here. So we have this reserved, or it's reserved here. So what else that we need here? Don't think we need another thing here. So actually this, I think it's okay now, so that in the next video now we can continue by building other pages for this application. So I think that's okay. So let me, actually I think I can do one more change. I can make this line here at least a little bit wider. So I'll just come here and let's see where we have our HR here, this line. And I think let me add the height to be at least, let's say 3 pixels, like that. Let's see if we have at least a clear line. So when we change here, we need to see the changes, and then let us reload here. So when we reload, actually we need to see if we can get this line here to be at least thick, yeah, for some while. So that's the height. Let me give it like 10 pixel, something of the sort. So 10 pixel is not giving us the changes, but it's okay. Even if it stay like that, I think it will be okay now. So let's end our video here. And if you haven't subscribed, kindly remember to subscribe and also turn on the notification bell, because I want you to be notified the next time that I upload the number or the next episode of this series, that is.